BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. And there's more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC. And in between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino. All the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino action. So BetOnline, the game starts here. Our fans like it when we analyze these Meltzer said what clips. So I'd sent you guys one. I want to play it here and get thoughts because Konnan is mentioned in this. By the way, did Dave Meltzer ever get back to you when you emailed him about not getting those stories right about the guy signing with WWE?
No.
Actually, he is. I will say this: so he's on vacation in Hawaii. Supposedly.
He takes vacations. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's not eat on the air.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna get massive heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you got the clip?
Yes, I do.
Let's play this. It's interesting.
All right, ready?
Yeah, so Meltzer said what?
I mean, he's, it's funny because it's kind of like they go back because, WCW was a television hit for a couple of years. Like another century. You know what I mean? This was in the other century. And, some people, they're giving him a shot in this thing. And, there is an irony here. There's an irony because, it's Eric Bischoff and Konnan both, are big critics of Tony Khan. And both of them now have a chance to prove that they, in fact, are better than Tony Khan because they're both involved with, startup television ventures. So now let's see if they can beat Tony Khan, So I mean, there is that interesting story to this. But, again, I think most people look at it as just, they latched onto something. It probably won't last. When they were talking about like their big stars, they did mention Kennedy Blades, and that's a good one. She's 21 years old. She took a silver medal in the last Olympics. She's going for the World Championships this year. She just won the Nationals over the last week. But they also mentioned Ben Askren, who's someone who I know and who's was a great wrestler in his day, one of the best in the country with the last 25 years. But his day was a long time ago. I mean, you're talking about the mid 2000s, like what 2005, 2006, I think was when he won his Hodge trophies. He's 40 years old. He's had hip surgery. I mean, he's not. When you're talking about him as one of the stars, it's like that's a tough one. They claim they have 40 wrestlers.
Konnan, do you consider this venture of AAA as competing with Tony Khan to try to beat Tony Khan? Because he's like, I guess he's the big dog on the block.
The barometer.
According to Dave. Yeah, he's like the pitchfork.
The measuring stick.
I mean, you're already beating them in attendance, aren't you guys?
I don't know. I don't compare attendance. Bro, he's on my mind less than you would think. I just wanted to troll him because he was such a with us, the way he treated us, And so, and really the real heat stemmed from the fact that, Kenny Omega got hurt, right? Mm-hmm. And I asked him, can you give me somebody of equal worth, i.e. Jericho, Punk, somebody like that, right?
Right. Yeah, when they're A-list guys.
No disrespect, because these guys are very good wrestlers, and I consider them very good friends. Bro, he sent me Bobby Fish and Swerve before they gave him a push, right? The match was good, but you need name talent. You can't replace Omega with them, right?
You're trading value.
Right.
The trade of value, right.
Right. So, like, sometimes you'll see, I don't know if they still do this in the United States, but in Mexico, they'll say that, like, if a certain wrestler doesn't show up, they'll bring somebody of, like, equal stature. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Well, UFC, they try to do that.
Right.
when a guy gets hurt.
Right.
Right. Suitable, equal replacement. Yeah.
That's actually where the heat started, right? Then the heat got bigger because he called me and he goes, "Hey, will you put the tag titles on FTR?" Now, at that time, we had zero visibility in the United States because there was a lawsuit between the Lucha Underground people who were owned by MGM and AAA, and we were geo-blocked in the United States, okay? Right. So you couldn't see us no matter what. So I thought at least if Omega and the Young Bucks are on Fight TV and American fans see that, they'll see, Lucha, right? We had no exposure,
Right.
And then all of a sudden FTR wouldn't be available, and then all of a sudden, Ty Mello, Sammy's wife,
Sammy Guevara,
wasn't available, and that really started everything. That's where, and then he felt backstabbed because of the thing with Dragon Lee and the other guy, which I've said this story a million times, right? And that's what happened. So I just like to troll him. Plus, I hear so much stupid does that one day it's going to come out like P. Diddy. You can only hide it for so long, right? And history will not be kind to him. I don't see him as competition. Dude, I've been doing this for 30 years. He's been doing it for 5, okay? Right. And you can just tell you're a former booker. I'm a current booker. You can just tell, he makes a lot of novice mistakes. He overbooks. He overproduces. There's a lot of holes in what he does because he's learning on the job. He's just a fan, and fans think, oh, I have a good idea. Why don't you do this against this guy? That's not being a booker, right? So you got to do long-term storytelling. You got to have all your top guys happy, right? You got to deal with egos. You got to deal with people going, oh, I'm going to WWE. If you don't give me more money, you got to deal with guys that don't want to work with other guys. There's so many variables that people don't even know. And then, so, bro, I do not look at him as competition or have to prove anything to him.
Yeah, I know you said that only 5 years experience, Konnan, but you're not taking into account the 5 to 10 years when he was booking his action figures with the notebooks. You're not taking into account the 5 years he was playing TEW Booking Simulator. Okay, these things aren't easy to do. So,
yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.